Hello, and welcome to LRGA Curves. Hello, Curvies. Hello. How are y'all doing? This is LRGA Curves. Happy Wednesday. What day is it? Hump day. What day is it? Hump day. That's right, Curvies. And we are here to talk about Raquel Leviis finally did an interview. You know Raquel Leviis from freaking her Vanderpump Rules, the scandal, all scandals in the Bravo verse. You know your girl LRGA Curves is practically off of Bravo at this point. Practically off of Bravo, except for they keep enticing me back. Mary Cosby is set to come back. You know, the reason that we even have a Salt Lake City franchise is because Mary was so interesting. That was the whole reason they even decided to go to Salt Lake City, in my opinion. But so she was gone last semester or last season. And so now she'll be back though. And so they're enticing me with that. And then Married to Medicine. You know my girl, Dr. Heavenly's on Married to Medicine. So they're enticing me with that. But overall, I feel like the reckoning that's happening over at Bravo is an excellent, most excellent thing. And that, you know, when reckoning has to happen, it has to happen everywhere. I get reckoning, you get reckoning, a reckoning for everybody. Anyway, on your way in today, Curvies, I hope you smash that like button and smash the subscribe button. If you haven't already, would you mind hitting that bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video and so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in these YouTube streets. All right? So today we're going to talk about, like I mentioned before, we're going to talk about the interview review. Yes, so we have to talk about with this interview review of Bethany Frankle and Raquel Leviis. Okay, because you guys know, I was like, you better call her what she wants to be called. If you calling other people what they want to be called, you know, if you can be a pronoun now instead of what's traditional, then surely a girl that wants to be called Raquel instead of Rachel is allowed. Hello? I mean, come on now. Anyway, so we're going to get into this interview, and I have none other than Sarah from Paris, Sarah Bay. She's going to come up, and we're going to recap and review this interview with Bethany Frankle and Raquel Leviis. See, look, I have to, the same way I have to relearn how to pronounce other people's change things, now I have to relearn that Raquel wants to be known as Rachel, her authentic self, moving forward. So let me bring up Sarah.
Hi,
Bonjour, Sarah.
bonjour. Okay,
How
that
are
day.
you?
I'm fine. It's a new moon of the Leo, and I think so. So it's a new beginning for everyone to meditate to the thing you want to your life, and to have a little space to meditation like you do, in your channel. Remember, we
Yes.
have a meditation, in your channel, Larja. It's very good
Oh,
when
mind,
you
body, spirit time.
listen. Yes,
Yeah,
a
the mind,
spirit
body,
time of
spirit time.
meditation. So I
Yes.
recommend today, if you have the time, go to the on your channel and what? What? What?
That's what they're saying. That's breaking news. You know, I hope she had a prenup. That's all I can say. I'd hate for her to get Federline twice.
Okay, I will go to
Okay?
TMZ. TMZ, what TMZ said.
Yeah, TMZ said it.
I said
So,
just that. You know
and
what?
the
Because
page
he's
6.
afraid.
Hi,
You.
Corey. Let me see if I can see
Oh!
Britney Spears' husband.
Yes, I see it. I see that.
News separated a nuclear argument that involved allegations of cheating.
You know what? I already heard it
Ex-
by someone I speak to on TikTok. She's calling Marissa Roth, and she said to me, and she already said he's going to quit her because the money is not here anymore, and she need to get back to work because they just filed bankruptcy from her.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm sorry that would. Uh-oh. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Do you hear me?
Oh, okay. I thought it said that it was disconnected.
No, no,
Let's
I'm
see if
here.
I
I'm
can
here.
show
No, I'm here.
share a screen. I have a lot of things open right now. I don't know if my
I can
inner
send
phi
you
is
the
gonna
link,
wanna.
or I send you 2 links to about Raquel on Instagram. Like that, you can have a little sound, and but I don't listen whole the
Here we
interview. I
go.
listen half, and just the 21st minute was very harsh to listen.
For the interview?
Yes, the 25 part minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That rumor is
Well,
true.
wait. So this is if you don't mind, this
Sam
is
Asghari.
the Britney Spears. Can you guys see it? Okay.
Yes, we see it. It's
Yeah. So
already
they had
have
an
some cheating
explosive fight.
rumors.
And I didn't know. I mean, I didn't think that they were gonna last, unfortunately. She's a little erratic. I wasn't sure what enticed him to get
The
involved
situation.
with somebody so obviously fragile. So she cheated on, oh no. So Wednesday, he confronted Spears that she cheated on him. He's
No, I
insecure
don't
because
think so.
she hasn't left from in front of that camera dancing and twerking, looking up at everybody in her teeny tiny panties. She don't have time to cheat. She's always on live
She's
dancing.
always under surveillance. She always with someone, under the shoulder to say to her what. And who was filming the tiny bikini pole dancing thing? It was him. She always with him. He never get home on time.
Yeah.
She's always with
That doesn't.
someone
Uh-oh, where am I? I'm
under
over
her
here.
shoulder. Say you don't need to do that.
What's good,
You need
Nina?
to do that. Hello,
It's
Nina.
not money. Yeah, I would say that it may be her
She is
antics,
already on the main.
and she needs. I don't know. I don't know.
Guys,
I'm not
she
a
was
doctor.
put on lithium, but she doesn't have the disease to need to put on lithium. She had a mental breakdown, and they take his bipolarity. What I say about that woman, she's a victim of organization. No matter what people say, she value $8 billion, and now when I see the documents of the court, that money was go away like that, like a smoke. And the blind item about that money is the money was the $8 billion was in holding. They buy little company that value nothing, and if something happened to her father because he was on the head of that situation, allegedly
Hi, Kai.
she's gonna be accused about
Thanks
something
for
happened
coming
to her
through.
father. I will tell about the situation about Britney Spears. She's victim. She's targeted. She was some people ganging up. Lou Taylor, she gives $6 million.
I feel like it's been her whole life though. She was a child star. She's always been in the limelight. Her people that are there to protect her
it's a fact.
have
They
got
never
used to a very cushy lifestyle at her expense. And it's very sad.
Her mother do to her what the mother of Natalie would do to her daughter. And if people go to know what happened to Natalie Wood and what her mother do to her, you're gonna know exactly what I say. I don't want to say much, but allegedly what happened to Natalie Wood was happened to Britney Spears and her sister since they were very young. It's the only thing I can say like that. Like that, you can see the story about Natalie Wood and what her mother do to her.
Yeah, Natalie Wood, she was one of my faves.
Yes, so you can get back to that poor Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel. She wants to be called Rachel. I went back and listened, and I usually do this minute by minute, but I wanted you guys, whatever you want, to go back and listen to, should you want to. Today we're going to be discussing the interview between Bethany Frankle and Raquel Leviis from Vanderpump Rules, this explosive scandal season, the highest rated season ever in VPR history. And it was followed up by the most endorsements ever of any Bravo celebrity. So, and it was all
Oh,
at, in
yes.
my opinion, I've said from the start,
Mm-hmm.
Rachel is not a bad person. She was following the formula of the show she was on
Yes.
for 5 years. She was she was basically groomed, in my opinion, to behave that way because her being her innocent, fun, happy-go-lucky self was only getting her tortured. So she decided to kick it up a notch. And when she did, find herself in the types of storylines that catapult these people to stardom, she somehow ended up being the villain, and everybody's endorsement is at her expense. Even Tom Sandoval and his group going on tour is at her expense, in my opinion. And so I'm glad that we're finally getting to hear from her. And I was so glad that you, Sarah, agreed to come on with me so that we could dissect it. And you guys should go listen to it on iRadio or whatever. I'm not sure about their copyright stuff, so I didn't even try it. You
I
know,
don't
some
I,
people are
I
more,
don't know what I send you some little extract
yeah. So we're just
on
gonna rehab.
Instagram. Maybe you can use it, or the reels she put on Instagram. She put an extra on
No,
Instagram.
still,
So
when I use clips off Instagram, I still get the copyright thing because it's still not my shit, you know?
oh gosh. So we need
Yeah.
maybe I don't know because
It's not a full on strike. It's usually a warning.
yes,
But
but you need to be aware.
yeah. So, you guys, let's jump in. The interview starts with Bethany doing a lot of great question asking. You know, I
Yes.
personally don't have a soft spot for Bethany anymore. When she was originally on New York Housewives,
Oh
I feel like she was an underdog in a way. And like, you know, the non-married one trying to keep her
yes.
shit together in the big city and all these married ladies giving her crap, acting like she's below them because she's not married, but she had her big business. And I kind of liked Bethany's vibe. It wasn't until, you know, her kind of star kicked in that the way people say Nene changed, I feel Bethany changed. And I I liked her less and less over the years. And she has a lot of opinions about a lot of things. And now her newest focus is bringing the reckoning to Bravo. Okay. Now,
Exactly.
don't say I've already said also. Sorry, Sarah. I already said also about that. Bethany bringing a reckoning that the black lady already brought up 3 years ago. Okay, we can call it a reckoning, but it's already been pointed out numerous times and at the cost of Nene Leakes' career. So, yay, kudos. I guess if you can get it done over here, then get it done. But we still need to respect that the first person that said it and sacrificed everything was Nene Leakes. So go ahead, ride the coattails, Bethany. Let's get something done now. So when she was the one that landed this interview, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, dang, Bethany, now I got to listen to your podcast because I haven't even been listening to her podcast, y'all. This is the first
I
time
already
I've
listened
listened
her
to
podcast,
her
on
podcast.
YouTube, but she, the thing with Bethany, she always have this thing. I think she always anger and angry. You know what I say?
Angry?
And angry and angry, the two situations. She is always someone, something she want to eat, but metaphorically, and she always on her stress and nerve. She need, you know to eat some, I say that not the real food, but the eating to some she had some void in her heart, and she want to fulfill with something. I don't know what is it exactly.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know what is
know,
it exactly for her.
maybe it's because but people say nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And she's so skinny, but she doesn't act like she feels
It's not
good.
a question of food. It's she if she wants something in her life so much, like she's hungry for something, but she never find what she need to fulfill the void in her heart. She had something empty on her.
It's her mom and her relationship, obviously, right?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know
don't
what
her and her mom, didn't her
with
and her
her
mom have the
father
kind of
too
relationship
was
that,
complicated, but she had something. She maybe she's a mother. Maybe it was happy for that, but she always needs something. You know, it's like the story of the king. He was very angry. He always he make a war to everything to find something to fulfill his appetite. But at the end, someone, a little, peasant, little, farm man, give him an apple. That simple apple give by that man fulfill
hmm
his void, and I think she needs something to fulfill her. It's
yeah,
she
she's
always
an
had it,
ambitious woman. I
but
feel
for
like what you're saying is true, but I still atone it to her mother. I feel like a lot of our root
and her
problems,
father, she had a
honestly,
very bad
are from
relationship
our
with her father.
parents. Yeah.
Yes,
But we saw on the show her strained relationship with her mother and her father. So you're right. Like,
yes,
I
she
feel like
always had.
her foundation was
Yes,
unpleasant. And now she approaches things from that, even though she's successful, it's
she
like that unpleasantness she grew up with might have affected her over here. It might have. I don't know. I don't know.
yes, and I'm happy in some way. You have Raquel, uh and she had very bad relationship with the father of her kid, of her daughter. She was in 10 and 20 10 or 12 years of battle of her divorce. She always had a stress on her, and she
Yeah.
lose she lose her boyfriend, the man she loved, and she almost get married with him, but she can't. It was
Oh, the one
very
who OD'd?
complicated.
Did did he OD?
He had an OD.
Yeah. And isn't that interesting? They don't. Well, that wasn't on the show. Was it on the show?
It was on the show
Because they
because
sure kind of
remember,
glossed. They acted
Luan,
like it didn't happen. We knew
she
it
speak
happened,
on
but
him on one of the reunion, and the season after that, they make a dinner. I think it was an Halloween dinner, and it was Denise, and she cried. She lose him done much for everything. So it
yeah,
was very something.
neurotic.
She had a maybe. I think that guy was the love of her life, but she was afraid to go on it.
Yeah, because he was a freaking. If he was using that much, she probably was like, "I can't. You can't be around my kid like that. For one, we can't be kicking it all the time. If you need that all the time, because what if my daughter finds it?
He
And
was a
then
dad.
plus,
He had a wife. He was married at this time. It was just insane. And
interesting. Well, do you think that a person can be with a dope fiend and not have a predilection theirself?
I think I don't know. I think it depends. Who you are. You can have the capacity to grow and to be resilient and to get away to.
Right. But a part of me feels like you can't really be around a crackhead all day unless at one point you did crack.
And
That's
I
just what
think
I'm.
truly that person, that guy, he had so much problem in his life,
Yeah. He had a
and
lot. Yeah, he
that
had
thing
a
is
lot of problems,
very
man.
problem in that. But he was a very high level guy. He had very good job. He was one of the very wealthy people of New York. I don't speak about him because I don't want to input everything on bad on that person. But what I say, she had a strong relationship with him, and maybe if she said yes to him, she's gonna be happy now.
Yeah. Corey, thanks for this comment, everybody. Hi, Corey. Please drop your link, Corey, so that we can keep on supporting Lola Lane, even though you guys are on the hiatus. Bethany needs therapy. Raquel went to therapy, and I feel like therapy is good. A therapy session for everybody. You know what I mean? But I do agree, and I also agree with Dina the Explorer saying her childhood made her neurotic, Definitely. I did not know that, Corey. Her parents had substance issues too. So that could be how she tolerates a person she loves having that without herself having the predilection for, liking to engage. Because look, Dina and I thought the same thing. How would you be with a crackhead unless like you know what I mean? Like it's a logical thought. I'm not saying Bethany's a
He
crackhead.
was not a crackhead. He had an addiction for sure. He was not a crackhead. He was.
You
I can
know,
I can say,
it was
he
medical
was.
drugs?
He
I
had
didn't say he was
OD.
a crackhead. I was using the term crackhead instead of saying a dope fiend or a drug addict. Just like any insert drug there is what I'm saying.
But the thing, that situation, when I read everything about what happened to him, he had maybe something with, medication happened to him. Maybe it was a mistake. We don't know exactly what happened. But what I say, he had maybe some problem. But he was a good man. He had a good relationship with this kid, everything like that. So it was not the stereotype. Maybe he used to. Sometimes some people, take alcohol with, medication, and can have a bad result, and they don't know.
Oh, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. She said Dennis tried to help Luann, and she didn't say thank you. So he had tried to help Luann, but I think ultimately wasn't it an OD that got him? I'm pretty sure it was an OD. I don't know, but maybe we should look it up. According to the season one, she went looking for her father, whose horse racing industry. Oh, and her mom was obsessed with weight, thus the skinny girl. There's the channel for Corey. Everybody go like and subscribe over there. It was it was poppy seeds. Is that the poppy seed, Corey? Is that what you're saying? The poppy seeds? Yes, it was OD. Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. So if that ended up ultimately being it, I'm so sorry that she had to go through that. Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. Well, I mean, maybe that's why she was able to ask such fantastic questions in this interview. She jumped right in, and she, being Bethany, jumped right in, and she was talking about the rehab for men and how everything is well known from Scandival. And then Rachel jumped in, and
Sorry.
she said that she felt like it was easy with her being the a cheater, that people projected their feelings of being cheated on onto
Exactly.
her. What did you, we've talked about that. What do you
For
think about that, girl?
that thing, we see the patriarchy and we see the non-sorority existed, because and I say we see the same situation with Faith and with her. I'm so sorry to say that.
No, that's
And
exactly what I said. I said the same thing many times.
yes, and you know what? Because they were that two men were the outcast people, the black woman and the black sheep of the group. And did
Yes.
you know who was the most angry against her? It was the white woman.
Yeah.
All the white woman, you see all the white woman in the vlog, in the shot on the,
Uh-huh.
and white guy was blaming on her. I'm so sorry to do that. Some vlogger we knew was very mean about the situation, and
Yeah.
some blogger we knew make, okay, it's doing that. But I want to say to, and we have some people on some YouTube, some callers make very big statement. But you know why? Because you see, and I'm very when you touch to the fundamental of the wedding of the couple, the woman is always the bad. She always the
Right.
bad. She always the bad, and she is the
Right.
bad for them, and she stay the bad for them.
Exactly. And even we were talking about that on the live this morning on Instagram that we had. The that it's the the patriarchal machismo society that is allowed to label the woman as the whore, the woman with the scarlet letter. Know of any man that ever had a scarlet letter for getting his groove on with anybody, whether he was married or not, or the age of the person. They don't ever
Exactly.
stay in the fire for long. But let a woman do anything sexual the men do, that's as far as like wrong, and they're tarnished, their reputation, and they're treated differently, and society treats them. The bandwagon people jumped on to crucify
I
Raquel,
just
now
give you a
Rachel.
big example of the disparity between the white woman and black woman. What happened with Portia Williams? Nobody come to her about what she do with the guy, the husband of her friends. Nobody come to her. Are you there, Naja? Oh, Naja. Naja, are you there? Oh gosh, maybe she had a call. So anyone,
I hit the wrong button.
Yes.
I hit the wrong button. I got so excited about what you just said.
Remember
Portia
what
did that. We can't do that. We can't. I'm not going to let that roll without some pushback. I usually do see the race thing. However, Portia literally wasn't Fallon's friend. She literally only met her once.
Yes,
she literally she didn't film with her for years.
It's not a question of friendship, it's just a question of to be unfaithful, to someone who is already taken. I don't go with the friendship, but just the fact to be unfaithful no matter what. It was with someone, she met that woman once, okay, but she knew her no matter what, but he was with someone at the moment. The thing
she was already pregnant with another man's child by the time Portia and him went on a date.
Yes, but the thing is, if people take the
pregnancy nullifies marriage. A pregnancy by another person, in my opinion, nullifies your marriage. And therefore, if the other person that didn't cheat on you decides to now go out and start dating, that's not cheating.
The thing, we can have the same stigma, no matter what the detail, but the stigma gonna come to her no matter what, but it doesn't come to her because she doesn't let that happen, with the posture, with the position, because she was a Portia Williams. No, she doesn't get any backlash about that because she's gonna be on it. She's gonna be work on that, and she doing like if she was the victorious. It's a posture. The question is a posture. It's not, the situation was not similar, but if we do a bad reading of the situation about Portia and her husband and Tom and Raquel, you can have the thing of, oh, you're gonna be, the public can see that like a bad situation, but they don't do, because you know what? Because Portia was a strong character. If Lala do anything with Tom Sandoval and she was friends with Ariana, you know what's happened? Nothing. It's gonna be nothing. No,
because we expect it from Lala, though. We already saw Lala as a gold digging Horace, so it would have been normal. It would have been normal. I feel like part of everything that this scandal happened, it was shock that it was Raquel that did it.
She was an outcast. She was a black sheep since the beginning. No one had respect for her. No one had respect for her. No one. Is that the problem? Like a Faith, no one had the respect for Faith too.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That thing is that, because if Ariana, she gonna be screwed with anyone in the group and shit on Tom Sandoval, they're gonna make the story, you make me do that. You know what I think? And now he go to be the victim. He had Lisa Vanderpump. No matter what people say, no, she was not tipped off. I had so much blood, and it's gonna be said she was tipped off.
Yeah, it's crazy. Further along in the interview, I loved how immediately after the cheater projection comment, she took accountability again. She was drinking. She wasn't in a safe space on the show.
Exactly.
I don't feel like she was doing. I've already heard some people review this interview say, oh, it's just more excuses. And oh,
No,
I
they
mean,
don't.
what? Everybody's already given their side. Why can't it just be her side instead of an excuse? It's her lived experience. And now she's talking about it, and people still are like having an issue with it. But to me, I feel like her continually taking accountability shows her courage and how she's really not like the rest of them.
Exactly, because you know what? She was just the girlfriend of James. She was not a human being from them.
Right, exactly. And her innocence in being the girlfriend of James, who was such a villain, gave them charge to attack her, because plus he didn't respect her, so he allowed them to attack her. You know what I
During
mean? Like,
5 years, he mistreated them
yeah, for
so
5 years. For 5 years.
And
And
no
then,
one on the show said it was a DV. It was a DV.
yeah, it was
We
definitely
need to
DV.
use it was a DV. It was a psychological DV. It was an emotional DV. He made her get away from who she was. It was a DV. No matter what I say, I'm a psychologist. I said that man make her DV on
What
her.
happened?
He wasn't there.
Yes, but now they respect her. They love her. Now she's a mom. She had a kid. She's, working to a woman. Take, on the court system. She had now this new polish on her life and everything. She was an heroine. Now she's a poor Lala who she was mistreated. But now she's, she had that thing.
Sorry about that. My kid came home.
Yeah.
He had a haircut appointment and the barber wasn't there, you guys. Waste my time and gas. And it's 100 degrees outside. That got me tripping. Anyway,
You need to have
but I
some
did
water.
appreciate, yeah, I got some water. And then she talked about how she decided in therapy that, because she went to therapy, she was whisked away after the reunion and went to therapy. And in therapy, they talked about her name change. So when she was in kindergarten, there were several Rachels in the room. She wanted to be special. She called herself Raquel. Her friends called her Raquel. At home, she was Rachel, so she answered to both. But now she's seeing that Raquel, the persona, allowed her to get away from her core values of like being an honest person and a nice person, and allowed her to be like, oh, I'm single, Raquel, let me do this. You know what I mean? Not that that's an excuse, but she did say that now she wants to be Rachel again. And I thought that was very powerful. Did you call him? Yeah. That's so everything on my calendar. Yeah. So, did you think that it was nice that she changed her name back, or do you think?
I think she's gonna be true to herself, because she was Raquel because she wants to be someone else, to be people please everywhere. When you have a narcissistic family, everything like that, you have this belief you need to be someone else to people like you and love you and be friend with you, because we tell you since the beginning you are not valued to be friend with anyone, so you need to change. And she changed. She was a pageant. To be a pageant, she need to be perfect. She need not to be her. When you be a pageant, you are an image. You need to be perfect on every single thing. But
right, and your reputation
was just a picture.
And your reputation outside of the pageant world also has to be held to a very high standard of morals. And so her being aged out, her breakup with James, and then him moving on like that, I feel like it was all just it was the perfect implosion, if you will. Let's look at some of these comments real quick. I don't want to ignore the people. So Dina, you haven't watched?
We don't have.
What'd you say, Sarah?
we don't have the video version. I just hear the audio version. She put on Bethany Frankle. I think she put on YouTube. Not today, maybe tomorrow. She gonna be put it on YouTube because she's
she
very
did.
smart with her marketing.
Good. I'm glad she's good about that. Kai, Rachel did mention that she was in a DJ phase when she met James, and literally did. Yeah, she did go to every place the DJs were. So
She was a fan
that,
of the show. She was a girly
yeah.
fan.
Well, so
Hello,
was James. So
Brandon.
she went, I feel like her in being a fan of the show and getting with the ultimate fan of the show, James, who started off a busboy and then banged Kristen. That's what I was just saying at the beginning. A man did exactly what they're saying Rachel did, and James is still the life of the party. He's still the almighty James. Nothing can touch him. He's all the way up, even though he
He had more
admitted.
money. Remember, he do that t-shirt thing. He had more money. He buy a big house because he had more cash now coming. No, he do more mesh. He just plan everything.
Yeah, and nobody judged him. And then Rachel comes and everybody's like, "Oh, she was a fan of the show. That's why she came on the show." It's just the whole tone about the situation is even different. Oh, she was a fan. But when James does it, it's like, "Oh, he was some mastermind genius to go with the easiest girl on the show who happened to be in a relationship and then get in the show that way." But then when a girl who genuinely was looking for love and stayed with that fool for 5 years
And
does the same thing, if they still are just like, "Oh, she was a fan, she was a fan." It's just the difference
I will
in
tell you
the
that
treatment of
Ali
man
was
and
a
women.
fan. I had a story about Ali. She was a fan of the show. She knew exactly who
Allie,
he is.
oh my God, Allie
And
is a
she was an
complete
astrologer.
pick me
She already
fangirl.
knew she's gonna be. She's liked by all
Hi,
the group
Brendan.
now. All the group loved her, but I will tell you that she's a snake.
Allie is such a freaking snake.
Oh
my gosh.
when you see she gonna wear.
Yeah, she's such a
When she
snake.
hacked, and all the girls are very. Lala loved her. Lala loved.
Oh, anybody Lala loves is off my
her
list.
because you know what because she's an astrologer. When you are a good astrologer, you can make the profile, and and with James, when she's not happy, she just get away like a dog and say no, I don't. She's not confrontational with him.
Yeah.
When you see very good episode, she's never be confrontational. And I will speak with a friend. She said to me she is a very big net, and she gonna use the next season of the show. Alice is gonna be the next star of the show. She gonna eat all that people.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And that would be so perfect.
And you do very good astrology, you can use every birth chart to use people. It's very powerful. When JP Morgan, it's billionaire, they have an astrologer, not millionaire. It's not a joke, it's true. All the big fortunes, they had an astrologer. All the billionaire, they had a specific astrologer. That woman,
they like to try to know their future. Yeah, that's true.
All the show she get, because she live in LA. She was a TikToker. She had friend with TikToker. She was. She created a spider web, and when the situation with Raquel and Tom's exploded, I swear to God, she was happy. Because now all the girls loved her more and more.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, but so Allie, look, Allie is so jealous of Rachel. She's gonna want to. She wants her own interview. She wants a one-on-one interview right now. She wants it right now. I bet. I don't know.
She already make a one-on-one interview. I see some interview from her. She already do it. Ali. She already do. I don't know what's gonna be happening with that situation, but I will tell you that I just want so happy Bethany Frankle.
Hi, Sandra.
Had us Astra make Bravo take accountability, because with that interview, I know Raquel, she had a 30.
She had a
She had
what?
the $35,000, becoming Bethany Frankle. But
Oh,
I think she,
$350,000. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Also in the interview, after the name change thing, at about 13 minutes in, she was saying that she was actually betrayed by people she thought were her friends in LA, and would get calls from people talking about, oh, I'm about to post this, sorry. And I thought that was very telling, that she said ultimately she found out that she has no friends in LA. And
no, she doesn't have any friend in LA.
yeah.
She's
And
alone.
then go ahead.
She's completely alone. She's completely
Yeah.
alone. Completely.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's sad. And that was part of her thing that drew her to Tom. We'll get into that. At 14 minutes and 37 seconds in, they talked to her the first time about the Ariana apology. And she said she still would give her the same apology, but that she found out through her rehab, basically, that she has an addiction to validation and love.
she's a people pleaser. She was
Yeah.
always a people pleaser. Remember, her own mother gave her to her sister. It's a hunt, it's, taking care of her. So since the beginning, her biological mother doesn't want her. She was not loved. She was taking, but she lived near to her mother. But her mother is not her mother. It was her aunt. That mess. Do you think it's very sane to a kid and good to kids growing on that type of situation? Very.
I don't know. It's looking like everybody who's coming away from these, shattered households and ending up on reality TV have that in common. So a lot of people who become our villains or our questionable characters on mostly these reality shows share the parents not accepting them, or share the dad not accepting them, or share some type of substance abuse with their parents, like Whitney Rose and her dad. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I maybe that's part of the character or psyche needed to even want to go on these shows, because I can't imagine that a completely whole, sane, untraumatized person would, in their right mind, want to partake of the show. And that might be why they can't get like other people on Real Housewives of Atlanta or other characters to come on these shows, and they keep feeding us the same type of character, because maybe that's the psyche involved in this platform. Who knows?
The
But I
thing you
thought,
need, when you are in the type of function, you need to have a sexy, partner, man or woman.
you need a
You need,
sexy, a
and you
villain,
need to have some
a
passion
silly,
and broken,
uh,
plate and money. You need to have money. The thing is, she was alone. She doesn't have few friends except Charlie, Ariana, and maybe Sheena. But Sheena was also friend with Lala, and Katie hate her. Lala hate
right?
her.
That was for a long time.
And since the beginning, and they always, they treat her like she was a dumb woman.
Yeah, I feel like they were really jealous that she was a pageant girl. That's
Yes,
what I
they are
really
jealous.
feel like.
Katie.
They were jealous that she got to walk across the platform, hold her head up high, and that she would place. They were freaking jealous.
I
That's
think
what it
the
was.
thing is Lala. What she's jealous because she,
Yeah, Lala
Lala.
had to
She
take the
is a,
casting couch route.
yes, but she's a femme fatale. Beauty. She never gonna be
Right.
the Snow White. She gonna be always the sexy evil stepmother. She gonna have the
Yeah.
sexiness on her. She lose it. She was cute when she was young, but she always be the sexy woman. She never be the beauty innocent but little bit sexy woman. She always be the sexy slutty woman
Yeah.
since the
Even
beginning.
when she dressed, remember that interview she did for Hulu or whatever about the Randall thing, and she
Yes.
tried to dress all demure and innocent, and she came off looking like such a fake, in my opinion. Let's keep going with this interview.
And
So at
she
around
had
15 minutes
yes.
in, she admitted that she couldn't stop seeing Tom because of her love addiction. And then they went into how everyone on that show, the platform is everybody has affairs, everybody's drinking. So why
Exactly.
was she the one that was crucified?
Because she was the one who she already a lamb to crucify. She already was a lamb to sacrifice. Since the beginning, she never was a human being from them. She always just be a Bambi.
Satra, that was I was actually talking on that earlier, that I've already seen some recaps. I love Up and Adam over there,
I'm
and
so
I
sorry,
love
but
Jason over there.
they are
But I
not
did
super
hear
fair
them.
before.
I did hear them kind of tear up this interview, like she's still not being accountable and still
I'm
making
so sorry to
excuses.
say
And
that
I'm just like, come on now, put the mouse
these two
down. In the
people,
words of
I'm so
Sutton
sorry to
Strack,
say that.
in the words of Sutton Strack, put the mouse down. Okay?
Exactly.
Let it go. She went to freaking rehab for 3 months, and if she
She
finally
almost
came out
died.
with
She
some
almost
words,
died.
for them to say she's not being accountable because they didn't get the interview, I don't know why they would be saying,
Jensha,
or the
remember
why
the
they
interview of Jensha?
or why they
It
would feel like this isn't an accountable Rachel. They don't even know that girl. I don't know her either, but at least I feel like this is a form of accountable because it all rung true to
because
me. It didn't feel
I'm
like
so
she
sorry.
left anything left.
I never been negative about any YouTuber, but I see them every time they speak with her. They are friends with Ariana. They change your jacket like like everybody. They are friends with Kelly Dot
Oh,
too and Shannon Bedard. So I'm sorry. No, after that I
oh.
can't. And when I'm
So
so
if they're
sorry.
friends with them,
They said she was accountable. They do the Gensha interview. Remember?
yeah,
He do the Gensha interview. And what happened? She said, "Oh, but I'm black woman. I'm innocent. I'm so sorry. I want never to be mean to anyone. But when you have two men, no matter what, the rape of a woman because she said, I have that type of negative shame of relationship in my life, and I go to see a psychiatrist. I was 3 months in rehab. I can take away my own life. I was alone without my phone. I can speak. I'm sorry, she was 3 months.
yeah,
And
it's
you know
crazy.
what? They're working on Vanderpump after the new Tom. Tom was on that too. They
Yeah,
can, they can be fair with that situation because they knew that people for real. They knew them,
yeah.
and you can be
I feel
fair
like
for that.
Bravo is not fair though, and that's part of why they need this reckoning, because it's not the same for everybody over there. It's one way for some people and it's a whole other experience for other people. And
And I'm
I need
sorry to
them
say, yes,
to not be like that.
I just want to say that when you are a platform like they had, they can to make that bullying and the death threat take a continuation. We had a responsibility when we go on our platform in YouTube.
Oh, Up and Adam worked it, sir. See, yeah, so they would
Yeah,
have
they work
a
after. They knew
loyalty
that
and
people.
allegiance. Okay, well, okay, now that you say that, Satra, I could see if I had a friend who was cheated on, even if that friend was a cheater, and my friend was pretending to be all upset and her panties were in a bunch, even though she was a cheater too, that I would naturally take my cheating friend's side and I might nail the other cheater to the wall.
But they
But I
don't
would let
know.
the mouse go on a public forum
You
after the
can.
girl already had to go to rehab for 3 months. I would let the mouse go.
And she had a death
I would
threat.
not
She had a
continue to
death threat.
question any of that.
She had a death threat. That part is really. She had that. She need to go to FBI because she was threatened about her life, and we can't, forget that part.
Yeah, and
And
that
she
was
was because,
huge.
but maybe she was a celeb, but she doesn't have the money. She doesn't have the network. She doesn't have, a PR and publicity. She doesn't have everything like that.
She
She
didn't
was on
have
this.
all that.
She was
And
on
she
this.
was innocent.
She was.
She wasn't sexing everybody for everything. Her Instagram picture wasn't her booty cheeks and a thigh gap. That wasn't her persona. You know what I mean? So it's just different. Anyway, but I agree with Corey, and Corey agrees with me. She said facts, Larja. Also, when the celebs go on the show, it's to stay relevant or to kick off and take a career to the next level. They need exposure. She also
Yes,
says that what we
Lala,
all know,
I will say
Lala's
that
fake.
Lala, she do what she want to do her career. She had a very specific beauty. She was a very specific person. She worked for that. We need to say that she hustle and she do the couch thing. I don't know, but she do what she need to survive. That's her thing. I can, but she had a kiddo. She do her life. But the thing is, the illegally record of the video, and I
Yeah,
am
we're
happy
gonna get
Bethany
into that.
Frankel.
We're totally getting into that. That didn't happen until 47 minutes in, though. We'll be there in a second.
It
We're
was
only up
almost
to
at the end.
18
And
minutes, you guys. 18 minutes. We're gonna go. Let me say a couple of things real quick. Okay, so it's 1750. She said that she was alienated even by Tom, but she really took accountability. And the Tom alienation was because he wanted her to keep on fucking lying to
exactly.
satisfy him, because he's a narcissist, you guys. Classic narcissistic machismo male. Lick my balls, and I'm not giving you no knee pads. Anyway, sorry. In 1850, she was said that her core value is honesty. And it was against her core value doing that. It was eating her up, and she's no longer a dishonest person. Then we get to where you were crying, Sarah. At 22, 25, they talked about the facility. She needed help. It was scary. She left right after the reunion, and she was going to go before the reunion, but she wanted to do her obligation for work. And then she said that she was shamed so much publicly that when she got to the freaking rehab place, people knew her from Scandival. And it was hard for her to really be like, "Hi, I'm Rachel," because she felt so
It
shamed
was everywhere in USA.
everywhere.
They go to the White House dinner. That woman was
That's crazy. How
burned.
did they end up at the White House dinner? Because there's whores. The whores end up at the White House dinner. Anyway, that's very upsetting to me. But she said she ultimately forgives herself, and that she was ultimately met with grace and compassion from her counterparts at the center, and that she learned to have more compassion for herself. It's giving me goosebumps right now,
Yes, but
because that is such
she
a revelation in anyone's life. Curvies, listen good. In your own life, it's perfectly fine in the middle of your mental turmoil to stop and have
exactly,
grace with yourself, to stop and have compassion with yourself, and to stop and forgive yourself and just move freaking forward with those on your heart,
exactly.
and
Give
let
some
those other
love.
mistakes and moments and traumas be behind you for a split moment to just regain who you are. What did you think about that? I know you were almost crying at this part.
I will tell you that just want to say amen, because you know what? That people treat her like she was not a human being. She was an animal. They treat her the worst way. And then I see like people like some vlogger on YouTube speak about her the way they do. We get back on the time of the on my tales, we get back at the time. I'm sorry, he's so biased, and after what some other vloggers take
I'm
on my
biased
news.
too. That's why I don't mind.
I don't
I'm
mind, and
very biased. I
we
have my
need
whole
to be
favorites.
accountable. We need to be responsible. We need to be
Yeah, yeah.
accountable when we had a
I'm totally
platform. Because
biased too, but I'm
remember
also
what
a nice
happened to
person.
CashApp with Cardi B when she was so biased,
Yeah.
and her karma now is beating her. Her
Right,
life and her
right.
money.
Yeah.
When
Like
you
this,
are
what we do affects people sometimes. Like, I'm not all big or anything, but
yes, exactly.
words are things. Words are power. We always talk about manifestation,
Yes.
casting a spell, writing your words, speaking your word to manifest your stuff. So even the hate that Raquel was getting, and now Rachel, that was affecting her person, you guys. That was
Yes,
affecting her
because it was an
energy.
energy. Remember that word
Yes.
have an
That
energy.
was a
It was
harsh
felt on the
frequency going over
world.
there.
And
Yeah.
she can, some people, I remember I was
Emmanuel, thanks
hello
for coming.
Emmanuel, and
They abused her.
I was
Ugh.
I was on Campfire, and Campfire say, and some callers say, Bravo need to be responsible if something happened to her. I was not alone to
I
say
think
that.
so
You have
too.
so much color to speak on that, very much clear, because because of my accent. But
I totally agree.
some US color, and I say, when I see the hand, the last minute of the reunion when she speak, she was on Xanax, she was on meds when she was on reunion.
Yeah.
Because to be
And
off like that, and to be, and
but
she was
also now
pregnant.
with this porn thing, it's not even over for her, people. It's not even freaking over. There's still
She
porn
doesn't hold.
circulating. There's still porn circulating of this girl. So now even if she does take her mental courageous life back or whatever, there's still physical evidence of a mistake, which is
Yes,
why
and
another
Tom
reason,
Sandoval,
Curvies, don't let nobody tape record you unless you
don't
getting
do
paid and
any
it's with your
video with
consent.
anyone. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do
don't do
that.
it. Don't
Don't
send
do
no
any
Polaroids
video
of your
with
titties to
anyone.
jail, people. Don't send no Polaroids of your titties to nobody in jail. And don't
Yes,
send no dick
don't
pics
send.
to
It's
nobody
okay.
either. None of that. Keep all your private parts private,
Yes,
unless it's
you
an
know what?
encrypted
Because
file
people
that
are
can only
out.
be opened by the person receiving it.
You know, in France, it was not a crime. You have some people, unfortunately, they take their own life because of that. Some young girls,
Oh my
13,
God, she came for you,
12.
Hallie?
We are not protected. You know, don't imagine how much the bullying. So I'm very upset against that two vlogger, and I will block them in any way. I don't want to see them because you know what? They knew about the video. Everybody knew, and I will tell you that why Tom Sandoval take the screenshot, the screen recording of that video, and was on his phone if he loved her.
Right. Ty, I
Because
feel
it
you.
was him. Take the
Yeah.
screenshot of the video. It was Ariana.
Yeah, she needs to.
Other people.
She's gonna have a reckoning with Tom, but I don't think she's ready for all that yet because
No,
he
but I will tell
was.
you that lawyer, Bravo, is
Yeah, the
responsible.
lawyer's gonna take care of everything on her behalf, I'm sure. Let's look
I
at Kai's
hope.
comment. Kai said it's giving. Let's wipe the white woman tears because she doesn't like how people reacted to her actions. I get some people may have not gotten as much, but she still did what she did, and that's a valid point.
Yes,
She
but
did
you
what
know,
she did, but it is more valid to me that she's not getting the same treatment other home wrecking, breaking up the marriage with
I'm so
kids
sorry.
whores have
We
gotten.
see Vicky
Sheena got
Galvanson.
the show based off of her whorism with Wendy Glanville's husband,
Exactly.
and there's no vitriol for that whore. Everybody's praising her like she never gobbled a married man's dick and giving her all this spotlight because she's now against Rachel. Everybody's pretending like Ariana wasn't licking Tom's balls while he was still with Kristen. Everybody's pretending like
Remember,
Lala
we are on
wasn't.
YouTube. Yeah, remember,
But I'm already unmonetized. Everybody's already pretending that freaking Lala wasn't playing casting couch, dumb blonde in the lobby,
She said
so
on the
that
show
she could
she
get
do
her
a
bag, and all
VG
she
and
got
she
was a
had,
baby.
a
So
car.
to me, it is very weird just that there's so much continuous hate. This is 7 months
They are
later.
not fair with her. They are
7
not
months
fair.
later, and people are still right. She's finally said something 7 months later, and people are still like, oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. It's just weird to me.
I want to say one thing. Kay, I want to say one thing. Vicky Galvanson, she quit her husband. She was married with kids. She was on relationship with the cancer gate guy, remember?
Yeah.
She almost
Doug.
threw her daughter under the bus to that guy. He faked his cancer and she was not at all stigmatized like she had.
Nothing even happened to her. Nothing.
And can we speak about Tamra? Can we speak other story and Luan? And
yeah.
And Bethany Frankle, her guy Dennis was, already married, and it was on separation, but it was married. No matter what, it was married. It was just.
That's what we've always said, Hallie. That Tom is the real villain. So everybody just gets to hang out with him.
It was Lisa Vanderpump and the production. They knew. I would say that Tom is like, how this is a puppet.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Emmanuel.
You know what?
Of course.
I say that Jensha doesn't have 1% of the backlash that women have. Jensha steal money from whole people. Some of that people died.
Mm-hmm.
Or they are homeless.
And Erica Jane. Erica Jane.
Erika
How
Jane,
many
it was
F's
her
does she
husband.
give?
It was her
It's a
husband.
fact. It's a fact. The only thing she paid for anything with was an American Express card from the law firm. It said the law firm's name on it. That was the only thing she supposedly used for all of her transactions. And she gets to tell people every week on the show that she don't give a fuck about burn victims and
And now
no
she takes
vitriol.
accountability. But I will tell you that she was Erika Jane, but I will tell you, my thing
Yeah.
is,
Well, I guess it's
the
not a
thing
big
is,
deal then if Kim
people,
K gets to go over here.
it was a video of her taken by that guy who is allegedly loved her, and the production knew. Ariana sent it to other women. So it's a porn. It's a crime porn.
They are all fakers. Yep.
And
I
you know
do
what
have a lot of
happened
empathy for
when we
Rachel
have the
also.
storyline about her mental health issue? The PR, because I follow Molly McPherson on TikTok, and she said, what happened to the PR? They do that interview with the producer, and Sheena said, oh, it's your
Production
the thing,
directed
everything.
single
They
Raquel.
do PR, thing is
Yeah.
and try to fake her and say, oh, she said if something happened, Rachel said, I will go into facility to make people believe. I will tell, if she hold her life. And Ariana, she was no emotion against her. Nothing.
Yeah.
No empathy. No pity. Nothing. Now she had the best life and her best money. She has all dancing in the stars.
She wolves
She
can
has
be
so much show.
horrific. Yeah, that's true. So also at the from 25 to 30, they basically said that the reason she decided to go with the Bethany for the interview was because Bethany is a force. She heard the TikTok that Bethany did talking about how Bravo exploited her and how the network was running to the bank on her reputation. And it was a sub-zero game. You either kill or be killed. And then production ropes you in talking about don't let them tell your story for you. And you sign up into this institution system where you're produced and like this third character gets paid. Oh, no, wait, no, that's not the third. Sorry. It's an institution system that's produced characters and that production directed single Raquel. I feel she said she didn't really appreciate she almost cried. Rachel rather almost cried at this point. Her voice was quivering when she was talking about how it's been kind of at her expense.
I would say that people, she doesn't know where she goes with that people. She doesn't know. She doesn't know where she was in Wolfpack. She think, oh, right. I do that like everyone is gonna be a little scandal, and after that I can go away. She doesn't value the situation because she was not a cast member. She was like a puppy for them. She was like
but she was a cast member. I mean, as much as anybody else is. I mean, they made that Tennessee cheese beer girl a freaking, because she was a girlfriend, they make her a character. Why was it different for Raquel? You see, that's another little difference thing. But at 30 minutes in, she said straight out she was not BFFs with Ariana. If anything, Sheena was more her BFF. And that the apartment situation that Sheena's trying to pretend like she's a mom, gave her a place to stay. It's really that she was staying someplace else and still had the apartment. So it was mutually beneficial. At 33 minutes in, she said she doesn't expect forgiveness from Ariana. It was horrible what she did to her. She understands that. And even though it's been done before, she's like, she doesn't expect forgiveness from her. However, she remains remorseful. And it seemed like, she was talking more about how she was never with Ariana by herself. Not one lunch did they ever have by themselves. It was always with multiple people. And the only reason she was ever around was because she was hanging out with Tom, who made her feel heard and not judged the way everybody else did. 38 minutes in, she said that she knows it wasn't a real relationship between Tom and
It was just infatuation. It was
Ariana.
a crush, you know.
Yeah, that it was not a real longevity. It wasn't a relationship with longevity. She would have never slept with Tom had she thought they were really in a committed relationship like that. But based off of what she saw and the rest of the cast saw, it was apparent, she said, that everyone saw they weren't like coupley, you know? And that Tom continuously claimed that they're a business and a brand, and she would have never boned him had she thought that they were in a committed relationship. Tom had a key to Raquel's house, which is what Kai said earlier. At 39 minutes in, she mentioned that while she was gone, Tom had a key to her house, and he chose to stay at the home, which proves to her even more that it's about this brand thing and that it's more money if he stays around there. Ariana's endorsements at 40 minutes in. It's great, but not with Raquel being the villain, paying the cost, and that the reunion was too much. What are your thoughts about those other 20 minutes right there?
I think, you know, we see all the thing what's happened exactly to her. She was just, what can I say that? She was manipulated in the beginning. She
Yeah.
was played. She was, and I think Lisa Vanderpump knew. Remember when we speak in
You
private,
always say Lisa Vanderpump knew for a while.
and you know
You
she
always,
won't,
she
because
peeps
remember
game.
I say that I will say something, and you need to understand very good. During the moment the Raquel scandal that happened, allegedly the brother-in-law, the son-in-law of Lisa Vanderpump, the husband of Pandora, was on had a lawsuit against him for very big sexual harassment facts with proof during the same time. We don't hear about that story during the moment because we hear about Scandal. I see the
Wow.
picture. I see that.
So you're
It was,
saying they
you have
bait
the
and
court
switched
paper.
us, Sarah? Sarah, they bait and switched us? They distracted us?
I tell you that you have the court paper. Remember, I was friends with some people on TikTok that have very good research and blind item coming to them. And I will tell you, Kyle, when she said that to me, she said that on her blind item. I said, I will go to verify. You can find the court paper about that lawsuit.
Oh, Anne! Anne is here, Sarah. Bonjour. Is this your Anne?
Yes,
Is this Annie?
Yes,
Bonjour, Annie.
I sent her the link.
Oh, I love her. Look, I dropped the link if you want to come talk to us about it, Annie.
You can.
Let's finish this up real quick so we can talk some more, and then I have a 3 o'clock with Corey. So let's keep going. The blame
what
game.
I say to you during the moment of that situation, we have the lawsuit against the son-in-law of Lisa Vanderpump, the husband of Pandora, coming out during the same moment. We don't hear it if you knew who is going to speak on that. And during the same moment, we have the new agreement coming about, everything happened. And people were persecuted, against her. But we had the lawsuit against Ken also coming in some way.
You're right.
The story with the salary with Pump and Serve. You have some, some very big situation. And the show during that season is allegedly was the last. And what happened? I had my thing. I think maybe Lisa Vanderpump say to some of the people to make those things. And maybe, everybody say about Lisa Vanderpump, she was a puppet master behind the scene. Everybody see that.
At one point, well, I don't think she was the puppet master to make Tom go after and groom Raquel like that. I think she saw that coming from a mile away. And when she didn't stop it, and she just wanted to see perhaps how far it would go. And then it ended up being in her interest to keep the secret. And then it ended up being in her interest to spill the secret. You know what I mean? Like everything, I feel like she's the kind of person that only does things in her interest. Basically is what I just said. and that Lisa may have known, didn't say anything, and then ultimately, like the chess player she is, was able to use this story to cover up the other story, plus get the highest ratings for the season. Plus, now they got all these little spin-offs in the works. She's one of the only people that was a housewife and now gets her name on production stuff and still gets to be in front of the screen also. Cough, cough, Nene doesn't. Cough, cough, Mariah Carey. I mean, Mariah Huck. Sorry, Mariah Carey. You know what I mean?
Carrie
Even the lady
Counts.
from that Southern Charm show, she gets to still be on her show. Yeah. So, Corey, I'm sorry, girl. Hi.
Hey,
All
you
right.
know what? It's all in the rest of the cast's best interest because they were getting ready to get canceled. Okay, for them to
Yeah.
have this stuff and keep it going, and for them to go in harder and pick Raquel out as that weak gazelle limping along the Serengeti. So they came at her like a troop of lionesses. Great, pick her off. Why? Because she's weak, and they all wanted their jobs. They all wanted to keep their $1 million homes because they don't know how to do anything else.
Yes,
So
it's true.
So you can't lay that all at LVP's feet either, because she knew if the show got canceled, she could pitch another show or go back to Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
So she wasn't
Well,
worried
you
about
She
know, they
already said she
do.
wants to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
She wants
Yeah.
to do the Paris thing in Las Vegas.
That would be cute. That would be cute. But you
Mhm.
know, and I've said this before too. I just earlier in this show said that in my opinion, allegedly, Lisa Vanderpump is racist leaning. Only because she allowed that stuff to go on with Faith, and she continued to employ the people that use the N word. She wouldn't continue to employ people that said the F word, I don't think.
And the
I
way
don't think
they
I don't think that she would continue to be with people like that. But she continued to employ
yes,
those two that got kicked off the show that
the two
are supposed
guys.
to be back on the screen. And so that
Mm.
shows me that she supports that. She now that's an excuse. That's an excuse that she gives those people. So anyway,
And remember
but if
what
she
the
comes
way
back,
she
she comes back.
treated the son of Garcette, Oliver.
Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
Yes,
gonna
Oliver. The
say.
way she
But
That her love of Oliver does not discount her tendencies, in my opinion.
no,
let me
because
I
she
feel like
mistreated him. She make him a scandal guy. She make him say,
I
"Oh,
feel like it. She
Oliver
does
did
that
that
actually as her token favorite dude, because how you treat everybody speaks about how you treat them, but how you treat one of us don't say nothing. You see what I'm saying?
she mistreated
And
him.
look, Mademoiselle said it too.
Yeah.
She make him he look like a cheater, a bad dad, a bad
Well,
guy on the show."
Well, listen. Let me tell you what the deal is about Vanderpump. Let me tell you what the deal about Vanderpump is. She didn't like the other chick. What's the other chick? What's Tom's ex name?
Kristen
Ayana.
Doty. She don't
Kristen.
like
She
sloppy
can't.
drunks.
No,
Kristen?
she can't stand Kristen because Kristen is a B
Cuckoo.
and cuckoo and disrespectful to her.
Yes.
Yeah, and
She
Kristen
couldn't
does
wait
not
for-
bow down. Kristen didn't used to bow down, remember?
Exactly.
She does
She
not
wanted to
like.
get rid of Kristen. She wanted to get rid of Kristen. And I have been telling her on Twitter for the longest time, because we used to have conversations a lot in her DMs. And I used to say, listen, you need to get rid of Stassi, because she's gonna cause you some problems in the
She doesn't
racist
like
area.
Stassi too.
And she didn't listen. You want to know why? I don't know why she thought she could change Stassi.
She tried, but she lose.
Stassi was raised by racists because her parents were on the show having
Yeah,
lunch
being
with her,
racist.
being racist.
Yeah,
So she didn't want she
being
thought
very
she
racist.
could change. Yes. Talking about Obama and talking about, oh, here, yo, look at that yo over there, and this, that, and the
Yeah.
third. And that
Yeah.
and the way she used to talk about Kyle, Stassi. Oh,
Right.
I'm so much better than her. This house is nothing. My house is bigger. But you should have
Yeah.
stayed where you were the princess.
Right.
You know, Stacy, she thinks she was the queen of the show when her book was a bestseller on New York Times.
She thought she was the queen of the show after she got that new chin implant. After she finally got a chin, she thought she was the shiz.
She was the queen. Remember her second book after the scandal was about the fact she was like a queen, Marie Antoinette, and I think, oh gosh,
Oh, don't do Marie Antoinette that.
She
don't
do.
do her
She
that.
said, "I'm like a Marie Antoinette." I say, "Do you know the story of France, Mrs. Stacy? Do you know really? Do you know?" And some people say, "Oh, it's gonna be interesting." I say, "Oh gosh, she never."
Yes,
Not the
the
chin
chin
implant,
was
exactly.
a dummy.
Not the chin implant, exactly.
Marie Antoine was dumb.
She thinks she was Marie Antoinette. The royalty of the Autrichian to be the French, and she was very,
immature
of the reality. She was that, and she said, "Oh, I'm like her." And I said, "Do you really know the French thing?" And say,
Scott was a mean girl
and
to
you
even
know
the
what
girls in her
what
school.
she do? She just see the movie Marie Antoinette from Sofia Coppola and think, "Oh, it was like that to be Marie Antoinette." But it was more than what like that. It was
it was more like Chevalier. It was more like the Chevalier.
Yeah, she had le Chevalier. Who is her name? She had de Fersen. Allegedly was her lover for for Marie Antoinette. It was maybe
she liked that good Mandingo. I mean, no, that wasn't Mandingo.
You know the thing, she was a queen, and she. I don't read all her book, but what I read the extract, she do the same. We'll fight you over. Yes, we fight her over Marie Antoinette. I swear to God, if I was on dinner with her, you know me, Annie, I will go rip her pride of to be say I'm Marie Antoinette. She doesn't know anything about French, revolution. She doesn't know what she that, and I will tell you, you are be more than you think, And she doesn't have a blood royal line. What she said.
No.
When you see Stacy on the beginning of the show, at the end of the show, she can say thank you to her surgeon, because her daughter is gonna look like her before the surgery.
Hallie, I like your pictures. So that's Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, and who has the guitar in the red jacket? Who is that?
I think it was
Stash.
The guy in the 60s.
Flash?
Yes, it was her. Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, Jimi Hendrix. Okay.
Maybe
is that Jimi Hendrix? Oh, okay.
Yes, I think it's Jimi Hendrix. Or maybe Prince.
It's Prince. That's what I thought, but it wasn't purple.
Prince is a purple for him. Purple.
Yeah, I see red, so I thought it was somebody else. That's right.
But I tell you that Stacy was very mean, and Jax is coming back. Kristen Doubt.
We're gonna have to keep Britney covered in prayer, y'all, because those are 3 freaking icons around the same kind of thing. And look, you're right. Yep, we got to keep her in prayer because
Britney's an icon. Really?
Brittany is a freaking icon.
That's a bit much.
No, it's not.
She wasn't an icon for her time.
Britney Spears. She went from childhood, and I don't even know any of her songs except for the one where she was a little high school girl doing the twerking in the hallway.
You have
Britney. That's the song I know. But for me,
you would have to learn how. You would have to know how to sing,
and you have
an icon.
But I like her because she went from Mickey Mouse Club. She went from the Mickey Mouse Club all the way to being a real star, all the way to being
she
better
was like
line.
Raquel in some way.
And I don't know. I feel, in my opinion, IMO, Britney Spears is an icon of her time. She is.
Yes,
her, Christina Aguilera.
You can overuse that word icon.
No,
well, to me, an icon
is
she can fit. She can fit in an. She's not a legend. No, Aretha Franklin is a legend.
I tell you that she's more
an
icon than
Beyonce either.
Yes, but I will tell you that when Britney Spears coming on the scene,
To
You
be an
don't have all of
icon,
the
you would
girls.
need to learn. You would need to sing live and not lip sync. This ain't Memorat.
She knew to sing. She knew to sing. And I will tell you that Avril Lavigne
Ricky,
said the same. She knew to
when she
sing,
was
Britney
on the
Spears. She
Mickey
had
Mouse
a
Club,
very strong voice.
she lip
You
synced.
know, they make her sing under her voice. She had a strong voice, like a very
Ooh.
strong voice. And Christina Aguilera, she doesn't dance. She just
Oh
sings.
yeah, Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera can sing to me.
No, I will tell you that Britney, she had a strong voice, but you know they make her singing under her tone to have a sex. You know, she break. But when you see her the first time she was singing on the TV, she looked like a Whitney Houston. But she had a very strong voice. But they don't let her sing like that. They don't what she wants. They want to. They make her sing under her tone of voice.
Because the problem with Christina Aguilera in the Mickey Mouse Club is she sounded too colored. Okay.
No, she was mean too. She was mean. She was mean. She
was the youngest one there. She was the youngest.
I heard
one.
that. That shit needs to be banned everywhere.
Yes, Bobby.
That's already the world we live in, pretty much.
In India.
But that's
so how did
it's
you get away
a
with doing that?
commentary
We're
on
gonna
the
have
world.
to talk about that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk about that,
ladies. On the world.
Ladies. If I had a bell, I'd ring it because we just need to finish up the interview real quick. It only has like 10 minutes left.
We do a thing about
we were
make a couple break up after the movie.
We went left.
No way, did it?
Yes, so much because the guy had some guy and some girl say my husband or my boyfriend had a violent reaction about a Barbie movie, and they say you are not a man if you know they just don't accept the idea. Yes, your wife can have her own life, just not with you every single minute of the day, and just that idea doesn't make them so happy. They feel very attacked in their masculinity. Of Barbie
I
movie.
just saw this.
Movie
she wasn't even French.
She was Austrian. We knew Marie Antoinette, she was Austrian. But after that, she speaks French. And they are all the same family. So, she was Austrian.
That is funny. Okay, so at 42 minutes is when we get to the FaceTime porn. And she was in New York. Imagine this. You have this man who nobody knows really. Everything's fine. You made it through the whole season. You finally get invited to watch what happens live. You can almost breathe because the secret that's been weighing on you, nobody found out. You're almost to the proverbial finish line because homeboy said that as soon as the season is over, it's over. It's going to be me and you, babe. As soon as the season is over, I'm going to break up with her. It's going to be me and you. So she's in New York. Rachel and Sheena in New York. Feeling themselves. She was on Watch What Happens Live right after she had a sexy time by herself in her room in New York. She decided to put on a little porn and had a sexy touch myself time. I touch myself. I want you to love me. I forget myself. And you're FaceTiming me. Cease and desist with the revenge porn or you'll go to jail because it's illegal. No, I'm sorry. Anyway. So she ended up having sexy time with Tom. She had no idea her beloved was recording her at the time. He is also feeling himself. He's in Tom performing, singing his hit song, and is up on stage, going up there. The phone falls out of his pocket. A mutual friend picks it up, hands it to Ariana. Simultaneously in New York City, Rachel turns to her assistant or whoever that person was and says, I am ready for anything. She is feeling herself. Cloud 20,000 Just got it in virtually with my dude. We made it through the season. Nobody knows. He's
Yeah, she
like,
said she
ooh,
was winning.
yeah. He's like, ooh, I just got it with my real girl. My brand girl is in the audience. Everything's going to go fine. Let me jaunt up on stage. Phone calls out. A mutual picks it up, hands it to Ariana, who's still his girlfriend enough to have his freaking passwords. She opens the phone on a hunch. You know the hunch that you get, ladies. You know that pit
Mhm.
feeling? It's the total opposite of butterflies. It's the hunch.
Exactly.
It's the drop. It's not a flutter. It's like a literal drop, like when you're getting ready to go down the roller coaster. That high low thing. That thing. Oh my gosh. She got a hunch, had a feeling. Check the phone. Some said go to the pictures. She goes to the pictures. And what was there except for the recording that Tom took without the consent of his beloved Rachel? New York, 5 minutes later, Ariana, right after she says, I'm ready for anything. I could just imagine her throwing her head back and everything. I'm ready for anything. 5 minutes later, Ariana not only texted her the videos, so now she's distributing porn, you guys.
She going to jail.
She texted her the videos along with "You're dead to me." Now, I don't know if that's a threat everywhere or if you could
That's a
just take
threat.
that as an almost threat,
No, that's a
but
threat.
you send me, you disseminate this and say those words. Obviously, when you're calling, yelling at me right after getting this text, demanding you be told about this and how long has it
Yes.
happened, then and me being scared, me as in Rachel being scared that you just sent it to me. Who else are you gonna send it to? I don't want my grandma seeing this.
TMZ? She gonna listen to that to
I don't want
TMZ.
TMZ seeing this. She felt that she was in danger, girl, so she decided to be honest. She told Ariana that night. It's been 7 months
Remember,
since
Sheena
September,
had the video too. Sheena had the
since
video
the
too.
summer of 2022. They have been kicking it for 7 whole months, just like everybody thought, right?
The
Tom
thing,
wanted that to be held a secret, but because she got that video, she was honest. So then when they pick up filming again, and everybody's pretending like they don't know when it started, and they know when it started,
exactly,
is part of the production. But
And
anyway, yeah, that's a crazy story, you guys.
And
So
I'm happy Bethany Frankle was on it, because what the production do to protect Raquel about that situation? What the
that's
production?
horrible.
The production had a responsibility.
Production wasn't there. She said cameras were down the night the phone
No
fell
matter
out of
what,
the pocket.
she was in New York to be a contract due to the promotion of the show.
The show, right?
It was
right.
during the time of production of the show. She was on her duty. She was on the contract to be on Watch What Happened After the show. Okay, it was that video was made during the screen, production, during the shoot, the production. And I'm sorry,
No, it wasn't. There was no cameras present.
Yeah, they
No,
have
at
put
the
cameras
night
when they do,
the
when
phone fell out of the
what
pocket.
during
The
the
day.
moment of the thing. But that guy.
No, the sexy time was when she was already in New York the
She
same
was
day.
working
That
in
all
New York.
happened the
She
same
was
day.
working. She was
Yeah, but
working.
she wasn't being
Oh,
filmed.
you're saying
for the
she
show.
was working. Oh, I get it. No, what she's saying,
She
Corey,
was on
is
her
that
duty
because
for
she was
the
promoting
show
the show,
to do the
she was
promotion of the
working.
show. So she
Oh,
was working.
so that does put it in
Remember,
Bravo.
in the law, what is coming is the gray zone. She was on her duty of working. Maybe she was on half time, but she was under the insurance of her job, because when you go to
Because travel
a job
time to and from work is included in work hours.
she was on the production of the production. She can sue them, and I think what is the lawyer going to use is that thing. She was on New York, go to Wash Up in her life.
That's crazy.
To do the production, to do the interview for the production of that show, to promote that, she was on maybe half time, but she was under the insurance legally of the production of Bravo.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
can take accountability for
So
that.
when
And what
Sheena hit her,
happened?
when
And
Sheena hit
after
her,
that,
that also happened at work.
yes, and after that, when they get the camera roll on, they knew for the video. They don't do anything during that time, or when they shoot just after doing the scandal. They don't do any
Right.
reunion. They don't take the phone. They don't do that. So if I'm a good lawyer, I will do use these two things because she was on her work time. And she working for Lisa Van Lampum, and that guy wasn't one of the managers. So you have a sex harassment, thing too.
Oh, Peter? Yeah, trying to bone
Peter,
her?
but
Yep.
Tom too. Tom was,
Tom
a
too,
manager.
yeah.
Tom was a manager.
And
so
James too.
And James too.
James too. That was all at work. That was all work related, y'all.
And what Lisa Van Lampum do? Nothing.
Not
she can
a
sue
thing
Lisa
to
Van
protect
Lampum.
her.
She can sue Tom, and Tom is a crime. It's gonna be a prosecution. She can say what you do was a crime, and I will tell that.
Well, you're right about that, Sarah, because she did at 47 minutes in of the 51-minute interview. We're almost done. She did say that she sent out a cease and desist immediately after getting that freaking video, and that porn has been distributed. It's been distributed to Ariana's friends, and she knows this because they've described it in great detail on social medias, and that she's 28 years old and now, and that the cease and desist is obviously being ignored because it's still circulating, and it's a crime. It's illegal.
I will say that I think why Ariana she's a silence because she knew she gonna.
That's why I think Ariana shut the F up too. Is because she's like, I went too far.
She went too far, and I think she had a lawyer because she doesn't speak to. Allegedly, she was next to Tom Sandoval during one shooting, but Bethany Frankle, I'm swear, she's gonna see to Raquel go to the cops and make.
I'm surprised that
she's going to the cops. She's going to the cops if they don't give her.
She already went to the. She already did.
She go to the FBI for the death threat. She doesn't do for the crime porn.
Yeah. Well, this is all going to get worked out. Her lawyer is going to be taking care of all of this.
Crime porn, it's a crime. So when you go and do
it's a crime.
It's not, like a civil, complaint, it's a crime. It's a felony.
It's a crime. For anybody at work to have that, of the people at work, that's gross. That's a crime.
And she knew that video, so she knew it's going to be Tom. They're going to be, and the cease and desist was sent by Bethany. She do the allegation of crime porn was on the list. Raquel, she's she's gonna be on the lawsuit.
She didn't send the cease and desist. I thought Raquel said she sent it.
So she, it was, Raquel. But the thing is, if she want to be sure that video was not anymore, she need to do. She go to the FBI for the death threat, but she doesn't go to the cops of Los Angeles.
Well, maybe she's just not talking about it because it's embarrassing or whatever, and she wants the people to get caught with the tape. And if she says anything about it, then when they trace these IP addresses, there will be nobody there. So maybe she's trying to. I don't know.
To make Ariana coming on the commissary, and she gonna speak and say the truth, and she doesn't take the pressure.
Yeah. Well, at 48 minutes in, she says and closes out by saying that she was 21 when she came on the show. She met a homeboy during DJ phase. She met James during her DJ phase. They were long distance for 2 years, and they lived together for 3 years. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, and now she's 28, and the affair went on since she was 27. So yeah. So she believed it was love, but it wasn't love. She said she knows that she doesn't love him and that he couldn't have loved her. That's not what it was. For her, it was she was finally seen and heard and had a connection in this group beyond what she had been allowed previously. And she didn't say what it was for him, but she was in a tumultuous environment, and Tom gave her the time to get her side of the story out and heard her in a non-judgmental way, and that's what she needed. And that's why she ended up, hearkening to his call when he was like, "Hey, want to get in your back seat so I can bone you?" And she was like, "Okay." I don't know. I don't know. But your guys, I feel like that interview was fan freaking tastic, very insightful, and telling. What are your thoughts?
I think it was, it's like when you have Jada Pinkett take Jordyn Woods on interview to something. She makes the thing human. She Bethany give her a voice. Bethany do the good thing with that thing, because she had a good reaction. If anyone, when she said, "If anyone do that to my daughter, I will kill them," she had a reaction like a mother, and she do the good thing for her, to give her a voice and humanity. What not all of the cast members give her. They just dehumanize her.
I feel like you're right, Emmanuel. Ariana, Lala, Sheena have all done worse. The only difference is they weren't caught on FaceTime. Shame on all those bloggers who promote women empowerment but have helped destroy this woman. Hypocrites. I agree. I will say though, had Ariana, Lala, or Sheena been caught on FaceTime, they would have tried to Kim Kardashian it. That's the difference too. Kai is here. What you say, Kai? Hello.
Oh, we're gonna be tussling.
Oh, good. I love a good YouTube tussling.
I'm just like, I am lost in confusion about this. I get, having issues and that being one of the reasons why you do things. But to me, this whole everyone's done something worse, it just hasn't been caught on camera. Yes, I know that sucks. That is life. But no one told you to be doing the cheatation with the man who's recording you and you don't know it. I don't understand this coddling when you're at the reunion, still lying about it was just one time, and then you come back and say, well, we actually slept together while she was at her grandma's funeral in her house, and we were FaceTiming her to check up on her. And then also still saying, I'm trying to be honest, that was my moment to be honest, but then still lying about the fact that you did see his family. To me, you want to wrap this up and as exploited, which there are practices that do need to be handled in reality TV overall. But regardless, if it wasn't her or someone else, what you do on the show, people react to. You were the fool who did this, you and Tom, and people are reacting to it. I don't really know what this thing of, I feel like Bethany is being exploitative in this, and that Raquel's parents, or Rachel, whatever, are also not helping. And this was her next step after she came out of her treatment, to go and run up underneath Bethany, who to me, there are things that need to be handled, but Bethany is just doing this for herself. And I don't really know what Rachel was supposed to get out of this, what I was supposed to get out of this, because to me, there's a moment of her taking accountability, but then you're taking accountability, but you're saying, well, everyone else did it. I'm the last person who cheated that we know of is James, which she had every right to break up the engagement. But then you are the fool who follows up and cheats again. So then don't cry about oh, well, they all did it. I'm yes, a lot of the cheating. I've watched Vanderpump from season 1. I saw the crossover from Beverly Hills. And so to me, I'm just kind of also there is a point of also recognizing that we've come to a different time where reality TV is very much enmeshed in social media. So I think a lot of things that would have popped off on Twitter, on Instagram, that happened in the earlier seasons would have happened if we were as engaged in social media. So that's also to be taken into account, that right now people interact with reality TV and social media at a different level than they did back then, because they were doing some wild stuff back then. But it's just kind of this whole, she says a part of the story, and then a couple minutes later, she says something else. Well, me and Ariana really weren't best friends. We didn't really hang out when we weren't filming. But then I'm okay, so you guys really didn't hang out when we were filming, but Ariana, Tom, and Sheena were the ones going to your pageants and stuff. When you had broken up with James and was lonely on Valentine's Day, you ended up going on a on a date on Valentine's Day with Tom and Ariana. Sheena talking about, well, I mean, yeah, she has this apartment, she didn't live in it, but like I paid whatever. They're saying that apartment is like $2,900 to $4,800. And so she said, I think she said she paid $1,500. So that means you didn't even pay half of the rent and you stayed there, which means she still did help you out. And then you still end up staying in her other place. So now you also are trying to reframe the relationships to make what you did not seem as bad. And to me, that means you know what you did is bad, and you're trying to remove some of the stench on it. Because now you're trying, well, we really weren't that best friends. You weren't really best friends, but you were all up in her business about her relationship, and you were comfortable enough to have conversations with her about her sexual relationships with her partner. This to me is where I feel like she has lost the plot. And if we were sopping up these tears of her, I don't know what else. Like, nothing in my world where we aren't really friends, we only really hang out on the show, but I'm so invested into your relationship that I'm talking about how, like, oh, you should really sleep with him and da da da. Meanwhile, you have already been sleeping with him through her dog dying and her grandmother dying. To me, like, I'm just like, what is going on here? I'm maybe 2 or 3 years younger than her, and at this moment in time, obviously I don't have the issues going on with her, but I would not be doing this. And if I did something like this and it was broadcast or a friend blasting me, I would have to eat the consequences.
Well, I feel like, where are we? Sorry. I feel like you're right. Thank you for coming up and giving your POV. What you said is exactly right. What I will add is I feel stating facts within a telling of a story, specifically in taking accountability, the fact is other people have done it. Why is it a problem for the fact to be brought up while you're saying, I'm sorry, it was wrong, I would never do it again, I know I've hurt these people? What's the issue with that?
We know what the issue is. The issue is that you're saying, okay, I did something bad, but everyone else did something bad, so really we shouldn't be coming down hard on me. You're trying to pull in other people when we're supposed to be talking about you and your actions.
But for me,
a deflection tactic.
What I got from it was she wasn't doing that to deflect. She was doing that as an on top of. So the other people who have done this have not had to go on an apology tour like this. So the other people that have done this have not been crucified like this. It's just
When's the last time has someone done something like this on this show while people are so engaged in social media?
Well, I don't, and even social media, that's adding a whole outside addition to why hate somebody for longer than a person who smashed his best friend's girl multiple times on his couch while he was in the other room over a course of time. You see what I'm saying? So
first of all, if I remember correctly, they slept together once. And then
no, it was more than once that Jack slept with Kristen.
And the whole point is that it shows then how rotten Tom is, and then how rotten Raquel is. That then she also wants to still be upset about Lala and James sleeping together. You cannot be on this higher moral ground when, again, okay, they slept together while she was sleeping. Kristen got B-slapped. They had ousted her from the group. She had gotten fired and all kinds of crazy stuff long before, the whole face and all that kind of stuff. The group was harsh on her. Stassi was in charge and she was harsh, and she was talking about how that girl needs to get a dildo with spikes and acid and put it in her. So this old Ariana was real mean. Stassi has some nasty ass things to Kirsten. I can't remember the girl's name. But yeah, that's the people have been handled, and I can't say, oh, we shouldn't be as hard on her just because people are now more involved with Twitter. For me personally, I'm like, I can't help that you decide to do this when a lot of other people on the show are not doing this, and we also are using social media more. I can't do that. And this whole, what happened to women's empowerment? Women's empowerment does not mean that you don't hold anyone accountable or are not able to point out that someone did something wrong.
But
Like that's
okay.
something that shows.
So how long? So if she doesn't have the right to bring up pure facts that actually
No,
happen, that are documented, then how long should she have to be under such the flame? How long?
what
What's an
flame is
adequate
going
amount of time?
on? I didn't
Huh?
even see anyone really talking about her until Bethany was doing this, this
Oh no, then no. Oh,
kind
then
of
yeah, no,
this
it's been
reunion when they're
happening.
talking about the revenge pee, and then this I'm on Twitter all the time. My friend got me into it. I just got into the Twitter this year. And I follow the pumps, and I follow the Beverly Hills, the Potomacs, and the Atlanta. I really have. They've been talking about how they've been having photos, and people have been angry about some people like being around Tom. I've not really been seeing people talking about her, and so this whole like exploitation, like what
Oh,
are you
you
getting out of
speak.
Bethany right now? Bethany
Okay,
is being
you
exploited
speak about
because they
her. She had a death threat. It was not a joke. You just
totally
want. She had a death.
many
She needs to
reality
go to
stars
the
get death threats.
FBI. She needs to
It's
go
not
to the.
right, but it happens. She's
No,
not
no, no, no.
special
I
in
will
that
tell you that
regard.
it's not right to beat someone in the street, and you say it's happened. You and I'm very, you need to understand one thing. To be cheated, you can cheat on your boyfriend if you want to. It's happened. It's gonna be happen because it's feelings, and that different between Europe and USA. That's a different. When you're cheating, it's gonna be okay. You don't go in jail for that.
Hello,
You're
one
gonna
who
be
cares.
crucified for that. But Jen shall do the
Yeah, it's
worst,
just a
and you don't speak.
crucifixion for me.
Jen shall do the worse than her,
I
and
am
I don't see.
crucifying you if you're sleeping
I
with my
said
man and my going to my grandma's funeral. I'm crucifying. I don't like
I said that
Yeah,
Jen shall do the worst, and
I'm
you don't
crucifying
see.
if
yeah.
my dog just died and you're hugging me, supporting me, and comforting me, and then come to find out that same night you were in the car with my man's and sleeping and doing the do.
You know what, Jen Shah, she stole money for old people.
What are we talking about Jen Shaw
Some
for?
of
We are
them
talking
died, and
about
you don't
Well,
have any
it's just
reaction to her.
because I think she's bringing it up, Kai, because their social media and Jen Shaw is in trouble and there's not like
Jen
this hate
Shaw has
mongering
her
going
moment
on.
She
in
make
time.
people lose their home, their life, their
She
essential.
had her
They lose
moment in
everything,
time.
and you say, okay, my grandmother died, and it's a question of feelings, and you have the consequences. That woman, Ariana, now where she is today, she had her best life. She
She's
had
in
money
jail.
than all of us in that room here. Do you think
And
she
she's in
is now
jail
thinking of Raquel? No, she
right
doesn't think
now.
of her. She
I
just think
just,
of the money she had on her bank account
I'm like, we are
and how much
comparing apples
friends
yeah,
to
she had.
oranges.
I don't know. I feel like the
The thing is,
bottom of it
when
is
you
the
do
same.
that, when you say, "Oh, she had the consequences," you know what's happening in Afghanistan when you're cheating on your husband, you're gonna be killed.
Yeah,
It's
see,
the
and
same
that's what
thing.
I'm
It's
saying.
the
They weren't
same
even
thing.
married.
It's
She
the
didn't want
same
to be
thing. You need to
married.
be
She was,
very aware. I grew up in
Okay,
Africa.
so
I
it
grew
only
up in
matters to
Africa,
mess
girl.
up someone's
I will
home
tell
when they're
you that when
married.
you cheat your boyfriend, you're gonna
no,
be killed.
I'm
This is
not saying
what.
that it only
So
matters then.
what
I'm
Tom should
just
have done
saying
is
that
be a
they're
man
acting
and go
like
ahead and
they're
leave her if he wants
The
to be married to
thing
somebody and have kids.
is not the
No, I'm
same
just
to.
okay. Wait, both of you. So Sheena Shea broke up an
Mm-hmm.
entire family that was married with
She said
kids,
Shay was not the
and
only one that was fooling around with that
she is
man.
now. But wait, she's now
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl broke up people that were living together,
And
Mm-hmm.
married with 2
and
kids.
so there's a difference. It's different.
And Rhonda, Emmett, and Lala.
And Sheena got her choice. People were calling her homeworkers and hoes and prostitutes
No.
for
They
several
don't come to
years.
her the same way. They don't come to her
Yes,
the
they
same way.
were.
Well,
They were
and
the first couple seasons she was
I'm
on the
gonna just say
show.
this:
They
I
were.
was there. I see the
Ariana
And
is a
footage.
who
I
res.
was
No.
there as well.
Ariana is a who res. How you get them is how you lose them. She was gobbling Tom's balls while he was still with
Okay. And
Kristen,
so we are
and that's
all
how she
karma is
lost him.
karma. You sleep with
Yeah, that's how she
when
lost him.
I'm at my grandma's funeral. You sleep when my dog's dying. I'm calling you every bee, hole,
Yeah,
and whatever, and I'm
it's
dragging
but it's
across the
But
street.
still
And this is how we get them.
yeah.
It's
when
how we
you
lose
do
them.
that,
But
when
that
you
wasn't
You
the
got the
first time it
custody battle
happened.
with him.
It had
Handle
been
your
happening for
consequences.
months by then. They were kind of all in a
Handle your
relationship by then.
consequences. If we're getting what we give it
when
out.
you say it's okay to have the type of consequences, you go back on the time when your woman can be killed because she was cheating
What?
on her husband.
What
When
are
we
we
go
doing
on
here?
that time, time. The fact is, a man.
I don't know. What I'm saying
It's truly
is
that. It's truly to get back on the whole time.
I'm talking about what's happened on the show, what are the
I'm talking
responses.
about the
You just
consequences
said
to
this
see the
is what
U.S.
happened. She
society
lost him,
make
how he got
woman.
him. You start talking about dead people and all that kind of stuff.
No, I
yeah,
will tell
no,
you that
I did just say that.
she
I
had a
said
death
how you
threat.
get them is
She
how you
had
get
a
them.
Yes,
true.
and that's what I was responding to. And then all of a sudden we're talking about, well, this is how women get killed and all this kind of stuff. Yes, when people
Oh, okay. Say
people
what you were
lose their
saying to that.
mind. People
Say what you
lose
were
their minds
saying to
and things
that.
happen. Yes, dangerous things happen. So again, we all have this present sense that dangerous things happen when you get involved in people's relationships. And now we're trying to wipe the tears because she's getting some of that fire because she got involved in someone's relationship. Tom and her are both trash. All those people on the show are trash. But nowadays, all that stuff was happening when they were in their early 20s.
I agree
I'm
with
sorry,
that.
if I
I
had a
agree
mortgage with someone and we had been together
that
for
they are all.
almost common law time, if I'm talking about giving my eggs and freezing my eggs with you, and you are now not coming to my grandma's funeral, screwing around with my best friend while we're going and supporting her through breaking up with James, which she should have, James. Just it's terrible. When we're supporting her, all that kind of stuff, giving her Christmas Day, supporting her, pageants, all that kind of stuff, and this is what happens. She is lucky all she got was a few tongue lashings after reunion. Because you want to
know
bring
what?
up
She
peaceful
doesn't
return and
do
do all
that.
this kind of stuff. Some people would have burned things down.
She
Literally.
was.
Yeah.
She
I
need to
bet
get
they'll end
away
So
up back
from
I'm
together in 2
confused why
what
they're
years.
acting
happened
like she
about
They're
got
her
the
gonna end
world.
up
mom.
back together. Tom and Ariana are gonna end up back together. Watch this make me
I'm
Maybe,
sure.
strong.
hopefully not, God please willing, but this is just insane of just kind of like this excusing.
And
Okay, they're
Raquel
all
will
terrible.
still
They're
be
all
having this to
terrible.
deal with.
But
And Raquel will
So
still
I
be
don't know
having this to
why
deal with.
she's
apartment.
less terrible than anyone else. If they're all doing this, then she's just as terrible as all of them.
Right. I
I think
agree.
it's
I
So
didn't
I
say
don't
she
know what
wasn't
the extra.
terrible. What I'm saying, the whole entire point, if anybody's listening to what I'm saying here on Large
Mm-hmm.
Curves,
Yes, Loretta.
is that I feel
the
like
patriarchy.
Raquel Levi's interview with Bethany Frankle was insightful. It felt authentic.
Okay.
She was accountable and she
Mm,
was remorseful during the
mm.
interview. I
And
feel
me
like
would
Bethany
disagree.
asked very good, insightful questions as a Bravo insider to give us even further sense of what this girl was really going through and the
Mm,
reason why the reality stars on that particular network overall need to be treated better. They didn't sign on for Zeus. They don't need to be treated like it's Zeus. They need to have protection. If there's revenge porn, if there's death threats, if there's threats against minors, whatever the situation, I feel like she's been courageous to go get help. I feel like
Jesus.
I personally wanted to hear what it was like where she was. I didn't know, was it rehab? There was all kind of rumors
It was a
going
facility. It was a
around
true
about this
facility.
girl, calling it drug rehab. They called her a
I didn't ever hear
dope
this one.
fiend. They said she had a drug problem. They said
I
she
did
was
not hear this
drinking too
one.
much alcohol. They said
Well, she
all
said
kind
she
of
was
stuff. And
drinking
now
a
she
lot.
gets out, speaks her truth with
Yes.
facts. And I'm here for it. I don't have a problem with it. But I do have a light bulb in my head rattling around as to why people would want to dig their claws in further on a person who has the courage to come forward in this time
Courage.
and speak their truth when people can literally decide what race you are, what sex you are, what everything. It's their truth, and they don't get crucified. This person is speaking their truth. Why the nails are out? Why are they stacking up the wood pile again? Leave her alone.
What she
I
That's
said
will
all
tell
I'm
you
was
that
saying.
it's very from.
we'll
I
have to
know
go.
I'm French, okay. It's very you from US. I swear it's very from USA because we have the same situation with the French president. We don't do that to the woman he was cheating on his girlfriend. It was very.
Hi, where'd you go?
I think she had a call.
Oh,
Yeah, she
well,
said she
we're
had
about
to
to get
go.
out of here. Oh, I didn't see the private chat. My bad.
So the
But
thing is,
I appreciate Guy for coming up. She said we was going to tussle, and we did. But we're about to have to close this out. What are your final thoughts, Sarah?
I think it's a very US Puritan. I'm sorry to that very Puritan way to the situation. It's very Puritan way. It's very
Puritan
it's,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very conservative way. We had the same situation in France. The president on his scooter to go to his mistress, and he had a girlfriend on the White House for French, president. And after that, he just switched to woman, and we don't do that at all. It was just funny, but we don't do that reaction. We don't do the woman. We don't do mean thing to her. We just say it's a couple thing. It's
Thanks for
okay.
coming up, guy.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
why the dog was crazy. But I say that I was very shocked until the conservative way to think here in USA
Right.
again.
Right.
I
Well,
hope
French
the dog
people,
is
yeah,
okay.
you're right. The whole French president had a freaking affair, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's just carry on, go have a croissant and some nice coffee,
He was
a
on his
cafe."
scooter. The problem was he was alone on his scooter to go there to go to see her. It was the security problem was the most important on that story. Affair happened
Yeah.
all the time. I'm sorry. And what they do with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, she was an adult, he was an adult, and it was a woman come to her to make her and she goes through to hell, Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
And I wait to
The
do
whole
that.
scarlet letter syndrome. We're gonna have to do a dive on that scarlet letter syndrome.
We don't
for
have that
women
in French. We tell you that
we don't have. Yeah, you didn't make scarlet letter in French. It was the Puritans that did that shit, and they came over here with the little pilgrim shoes and brought their morals over here. They brought their little moral compass over here.
Yes.
The Prince of Monaco had a whole affair with African.
He had a black kid. He had a black kid too. He had a black kid. And he had the children is black.
Yes.
He's very beautiful, this kiddo.
Great. Corey, what are your final thoughts? Thanks for coming up. You have a lot. I know you don't really do this show.
Yeah, no. Will it ever be over? I mean, really, is it ever going to be
after
over?
the next interview? I don't think I have to talk about it.
I think it's going to be happening. It's going to be better because she was try to make a lawsuit against them. She's really trying. She's really.
I bet they talk to her ass. They gonna talk to her ass. She gonna get her settlement.
No, you know what? She's upset. She's so much upset now. I don't think
Bethany's always upset. She needs to eat something.
No, she needs to find herself and to just be gracious. Like you said, to be gracious with yourself.
Yes, and have
a biscuit.
Go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry, we keep interrupting. You
okay.
close this out.
Bethany needs a biscuit and an enema or something, or some brand, because she's so just I never liked her from season 1. Never. I just think why?
Try patches.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your POV. I appreciate your POV, Sarah. Thanks for coming up. Everybody who's in the chat today, Kai. Oh my God! Thank you for coming up.
The dog is okay. I hope the dog is okay.
I think
yes. And these are all reality people. Has nothing to do with my real life. They're not paying me no money.
Yes.
They're not paying my bills. Yes. They don't influence my decisions. Exactly. I simply have a POV that I wanted to come on here and share. And I usually like doing stuff that people don't think, that other people don't agree with. I'm not one of these just go along with people. That's why I say I'm biased. I have my whole own entire thought, and I'm willing to share it. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to thank you guys for coming through to LRGA Curves. We weren't even supposed to be on here 2 hours. Smash the buttons.
Smash the button and subscribe and share and everything like that.
Yes, all those things.
Have a good day.
And go over to Corey's channel at Lola Lane and do it there too. So thank you guys for coming through. Smash the buttons.
Bye.
We'll
see you. Bye. Okay, I go to sleep to everyone. Bye.
Bye.
It's almost midnight here. Ciao.